Okay, it's all right. It's the national anthem, huh? Okay. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah, it's the program. We're on TV once again, once a day, every day. Turn on the machines. Whoa. And then we start talking. We're going to be here for an hour. Hi, viewers. Hi, over here. Hi. How are you? Doing real good today. Yeah, are ya? Let's get this going. I gotta write this something down, but I'll figure it out which one it is. Which one is it? Which one is it? I am real. There he is. There I am. That's right. Fake Carl. How are you today? You know, I don't know.
It's okay.
Just okay, huh? Could be doing better. There's always better. Yeah, I thought I wasn't gonna do that fake. The fake thing. I haven't had any practice to do the real thing. I was gonna do this thing where I like set up ideas and then completed them using my own voice and not using a fake Carl voice to try to like establish setups and endings to phrases. But I didn't do that. Maybe I should just set up phrases and everything. What are we going to do today, though? Maybe we're going to make some phone calls. Look at the messages. I know Mr. Ginty left us a ton of messages yesterday, and we spent our day talking to Carl. We did some food today. I would like to eat the food, but oh, so maybe Carl got a text, or maybe Carl got texts. I don't know what the 774 number is. But let's call it. Let's see what happens. I wonder if it's like the internet. I get a new book or a new system. Somebody said, on my way. I have a feeling it might be Carl calling from the 774 number, but what is that? I don't have a feeling we're not going to be able to call this number back. I'm calling this number. It says, I'm on my way. Who's on their way? On my way.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
The program. It's probably Carl. Carl got Google Voice. Ring a ding ding.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available.
I want to call John Webster. I was thinking about him. I had a dream. I had a dream where he was like, John Webster was giving some kind of speech. We were at the Capitol Theater, and John Webster was up there, and we're like really proud. We're like, everybody was like, man, John Webster's got a lot of good things to say. I'm not sure what the speech was about. It was kind of abstract. So John, you're in my thoughts. Maybe I could sneak up some food while the phone's ringing. Oh. It doesn't count as content though. John Webster's residence.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 3604.
Well, that's whatever. All right. Making the calls.
Hello, program.
Hey, Friday. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I am here at Thurston Community Media, ready to check out all the cameras to different producers today. Not too much else is happening, but it's a good time.
Gonna go get a camera. Maybe we
Yeah, they're all going out.
we should go.
No more cameras available.
We should go to the woods.
Yeah. Go to the woods for
Woods show.
Why?
Wood,
yeah.
Woods show.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Want to do that? Sounds like a nice show. How's it going there in the studio? Is Carl there?
Carl is not here. He was supposed to be here, but I think he'll be showing up. We got a text message that says I'm on my way from a random number.
That's a good sign.
So it's probably
Ooh,
Carl.
Carl's got a phone.
I think he got Google Voice.
Oh, good.
It's from the 774 area code.
Oh, yeah, that's a wild area code.
Yeah.
Not from around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're getting a new area code. Have you already talked about that on the show? We're gonna have a new area code.
Yeah, I heard rumors about that. I haven't heard any. All I've heard is rumors.
I'm pretty sure it's true. I mean, I think it's more of a Seattle thing. If that seems right. I think it's Seattle.
The computer
not
ran out of
around
space.
here. No, not again. Shoot.
Yeah.
Man, that's a constant problem.
In Seattle and here, so it's like this area code is gonna be all around, like everywhere.
Really?
No, I don't know. That's what it sounds like. Maybe, like area codes are way less important now that we are all phones are digital for the most part.
Yeah.
And yeah, like nobody pays long distance anymore. I think.
And nobody maybe even remembers anybody's phone number. It doesn't matter what. I guess we're maybe more less localized. You know, it's like you never really everyone's got different area codes. It's not based on your house anymore. You can't keep it in one place.
Yeah,
I think that was the whole thing. Is like no one had a phone except in their house.
Yeah, now they take it around with them when they move across the country. They keep their old area code, and they're like, "This is where I'm from."
Yeah, represent. going to take, if I ever go anywhere, I'm definitely taking this 360. I hope they're not going to change my phone number, but if I get a new phone, maybe then I'll have to have the old phone number.
You got to hold on to it.
Yeah, it's important for some reason.
Yeah. My personal number and the program number were actually technically in like Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah.
And we got...
That's not too...
Yeah.
People were complaining about that, right? They were like, hey, it's not long distance. I still have to dial 360. That's what they said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was John Webster, and he's like, when we called him, he said, how come it says you're from Vancouver?
Yeah, good question, John.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Sometimes I think we should get a program cell phone, because it wouldn't be that hard to plug it into, and then we could have phones on the go.
That's a good idea. And I think that we're talking about getting a computer. I think we were talking about that yesterday or the day before. So maybe we should just get a phone. I think it'd be like $30 a month. We could get a phone.
Yeah, go get a new smartphone. Yeah, for the program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's its own thing. Oh, he's here.
Yay!
Praise Carl.
Praise Carl. Praise him.
He's not too out of breath today either. Oh yeah, you are.
I think
he's out of breath. He's very out of breath. I spoke too soon.
It's okay.
It's not okay, Carl. I'm saying it's not okay.
Speak.
Take it easy.
I'm good.
I want you to take it easy. I told you before, I think before you come in here, like, walk around Carl, it makes me uncomfortable when you're breathing so hard. I feel like you're about to pass out or something. I think if you're running so hard...
I don't want to trigger you, but
You don't want to trigger
fine.
me? I'm being triggered by your health problems.
Sorry.
I think that it's good for Carl to exercise heavily like that. You're supposed to get your heart rate up, get your...
I think before you walk in the door, though, you should just take a lap of slow walking around the building.
Life should be also physical education.
Yeah, but you need to cool down. You can't just be running, and then plop down. You need to walk. That's what they say. I remember that's what they said in PE.
That's true. That's true, Carl. There's something about you need a cool down period.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
The walking part.
No, I'm the couch part.
That's not cool.
He's gonna cool down on the couch.
It's too fast of a cool down.
Well, I do everything with the speed sometimes, which is okay.
I know when I say these things, I say suggestions to you, and instead of being like, yeah, that sounds like a good suggestion, you're never going to take this suggestion. You're just going to come up with reasons why the suggestion is wrong, which is not why I would be giving suggestions in the first place.
Oh.
I'm not like trying. Are you hurt?
Only psychically.
Yeah.
Ouch, my psyche.
How's the production end going?
Well, it's going pretty good. The episode from a couple nights ago, I went to go put it together, and it didn't completely finish capturing. I think it went overtime.
Oh no!
So I need to go get that. It's the really heavy jelly donut episode.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm gonna watch that one all the way through. I think I'm gonna capture that. Maybe I'll capture that tonight or tomorrow. But we're all clear through the weekend, so everything's fine. We're scheduled on TV both at 11:30 p.m. and 2 a.m. TCTV channel 22. So we'll have that going. And we've been keeping ahead on YouTube too. It's been a little closer. I'm exporting a lot of episodes right now, but basically I've been getting it right when it's supposed to be. We've been uploading a new episode at 11 p.m. every night to YouTube, and the reason for the timing there for the viewers, if you want to know, you're going to a place where there's well, it's not the main reason. It's just like we want to keep it consistent with the airtime on TV, but also.
What are you doing, Carl?
I'm drumming.
Yeah, Carl is too much. You ran here. You take your cooldown period. Now you're like moving around too much.
I'm just. Yeah, well, I can drum my thumbs. It'll be okay.
You can, but I think it's a sign that you didn't cool down.
Yeah, we got too much nervous energy going on.
You know what? It's good.
Carl, I think Carl's got a lot of things to. I think YouTube is picking up. Like we're doing the thing. Remember, like a long time ago, I said like they're like, how come who's gonna watch the show? And I said people, and it's gonna be a slow, gradual climb, and we're doing it. Yeah,
it is slowly climbing. I don't like talking about maybe subscribers, but we have like over 400 now, and it's like there's views that are happening. People are watching it. I think also, we just got to keep being consistent. I think the more consistent it can be, the less missed days, the more people can rely on it. There is good. So people like to have something that they can trust that it's going to continue, and it's going to, they're interested maybe, or it's just like comforting, I think, to know that every day there'll be a new thing coming out, no matter what, no matter if it's a weekend or a holiday. It's like there's not very many other things you can trust like that. Yeah, we focus on TCTV a lot, but I want to shout out to YouTube right now also. Yeah, good point. YouTube, that's where it's forever, TCTV, you only get 2 years. You get last week and you get last year. Yeah. But on YouTube, you really could pick any day in the last 7 years, and you can watch it. Shout outs.
Without TCTV commercials. Yeah, you could develop a playlist that you could watch YDHWM concurrently for like however long it is. It's 100 days now, I think, right? Yeah, it's 100 days worth of programming. Or something like that.
Because season 24.
Oh, that's right. So 24 hours is at 100. Whoa, that's 100 days. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh man. That's wow. I can't believe that.
I'm not sure. Actually, I think it might be at the end of season 24 is when we get that, right?
Oh yeah, like maybe it's closer to like 96 days right now or something like that.
Yeah.
We're getting close though.
So when we get
100 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that means that's a lot for the marathoners. But if you turn it around and think about you and Carl on the couch, that's like 100 days, like of your life.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. That's really amazing.
100 days, over 3 months time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just 100 days of episodes. It's like 24 hours a day. Wow, that's good. 100 days. We're almost there. Another small landmark towards the ever marching towards infinity.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed.
Indeed.
It's Carl's cheering. Indeed. That's a funny cheer.
Yeah. Well, Dan Bennett's here. Do you want to get a science report?
Sure.
Oh, sure.
Let's see what's going on, and then I'm done. I'm done talking to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Freddie.
I'll say my goodbyes, but here's Dan. He's got some really good science news for you.
Science news.
Science news.
Well, there are several choices. What kind of science news would you like?
The best kind.
I want to hear more about those planets.
Wait, what?
The planets the 7 or 8 planets that were discovered around this star that you told us, this red star.
Yes. I'm trying to think about what I've told you already and maybe add to that, but I don't really remember what I told you, except that the star... Well, I'll just recap. How about that? And you guys can ask questions. Okay, so the star itself, first of all, is about 40 light years away. It is a red dwarf. So every star has a different classification. Like, for instance, our sun is a G-type star. This star is an M-class, so it's a classification. And M-class stars are very red, K-class stars are orange, G-class stars are yellow, like ours, and the classification has to do with the color of the star itself, not necessarily its size, because you can have an M giant, and this is a star with a super bloated atmosphere like Betelgeuse or Aldebaran or Antares.
Don't say that 3 times fast.
Okay, these are huge stars with a diameter of Earth's orbit, or Mars' orbit, or Venus's orbit. They're really big.
Okay.
They're stars with maybe the mass of our sun, or maybe a little bit more than that. And they, at the end of their lifetime, they run out of hydrogen primarily, and so they start to cool down because they run out of hydrogen, and the core of the star compresses and heats up even hotter and starts fusing helium. Well, this extra energy from fusing helium pushes the atmosphere of the star out, and so it becomes very diffuse and cools down. And so you have this star that with a diameter of Earth's orbit, and this outer part that we see is very red or orange, even though the mass is not much more than our sun. So it's classified as an M giant because its diameter is giant, but its color is M class. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so in this particular case, and that's why you'll see, if you ever look at if you ever read anything about stars, you'll see a G type or class, a G class or K class or M class or one of these, and it'll have a little Roman numeral after it, and you'll see a V, which is 5 or V, and those are the main sequence ones. Those are the ones that are most common, that are in the middle of their lifetime, whatever. And then you'll see a 4, Roman numeral 4, the I and the V, and then a 3, which is 3 I's in a row. And these are the giants. These are kind of the oddballs. They're quite rare. They don't last very long because they burn through their helium fairly quickly. And so an M-class star will remain one for billions of years, but it won't go into a giant class until the end of its life, and it's very brief, a few 100,000 years maybe, or 1 million years, or less than that. It just depends on the mass that it started out with. M-class stars, these little ones, they come with further classification, 0 through 9. And 0 is hotter, and 9 is cooler. So our sun is a G2 type, and so it has surface temperature, color temperature of 6,500 degrees, roughly, a little more, a little less, and you'll get a G1 type star, and it'll be a little hotter. It'll be closer to 7,000 degrees, or a G5, which is a little closer to, 5,000 degrees, something like that. So this little guy is a I think it's or an M7 or 8 or something like that. It's very, very cool as compared to most of the other red dwarfs. They range all over the place, but the average is an M3 or an M4. And so getting an M-class red dwarf that is very, very cool tells us that it doesn't have enough mass to produce as much heat as a regular M-class. And this particular M-class dwarf has barely enough matter to compress and form fusion, just barely enough. It's got a mass of about 85 Jupiters.
Okay.
So you take 85 Jupiters and you squish them all together, and all that matter condenses into a sphere about the size of Jupiter. Yeah, its actual physical size is not much bigger than Jupiter. It might actually be a little smaller because it's so compressed.
Wow.
And if you added more Jupiters to it, it would only grow in diameter slightly. All of the M-type stars are really, really small. You've got the M1s and the M2s that are quite a bit bigger, and they might be 3 or 4 Jupiter diameters.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular guy is really small.
Does that mean it's growing? It's working on getting bigger, or?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. It gathered from its original solar nebula. It gathered whatever material that was in the nebula that it formed from, and there's no more nebula to gobble anything up unless its planets fall into it, but they don't really have enough mass to make much of a difference.
Okay.
So that's about the size and color and density and mass of this little star. So it was discovered several years ago, through the transit method. This is where you stare at a star for however long with a telescope, or you just take short-term snapshots and you watch its brightness level. A star can fool you because there are sunspots on these little red dwarfs, little flares and little swirls and pockets of fusing gas that bubble up to the surface, and when they leave the surface, they cool down, and so the star will darken slightly, and they're kind of random, and they happen kind of whenever they do. But in the case of this particular star, they were looking at it, and they noticed that its light dipped slightly at regular intervals. And they noticed that the light dip was really weird. It was regular, or there were two kind of regular instances. It dipped every day and a half, and then every 3 or 4 days it dipped again. And sometimes it would double dip, which you should never do with chips at a party.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Seinfeld.
Life.
What it was is two planets were orbiting. They were crossing the front of it from our perspective, and the light was dimming very slightly. And it was really apparent because the size of the planets are about the size of the Earth, and the star is about the size of Jupiter. So the size relationship of these planets going in front of the star was fairly big. It's fairly significant. It was blocking a good deal of light. And they noticed this going on, and they made the announcement, Trappist-1, we've discovered two planets orbiting very close to the star, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
But because this star is cooler, it gives off more radiation in the infrared than it does in visible light. So if you could see in heat, it would be very bright, much, much brighter than with our natural eyes. So what they did is they noticed that there are other kind of weirdnesses about the star. It's like dipped in other intervals that they didn't have a telescope that could see in the spectrum that it gave off the most light in, but they thought that it might have other planets. So they booked time with a space probe that is orbiting the sun behind the Earth called Spitzer. And Spitzer's telescope sees in the infrared. And it sees a fairly wide range of infrared, different kinds of infrared, longer wavelengths and shorter wavelengths of infrared. And so this telescope stared at this little star, I think for 90 days or something like that. It was good deal of time. And it would just look at it and measure the light output and then look at something else and then look at this again and go back and forth. And so they had this Spitzer telescope looking at this star for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And because Spitzer sees in the spectrum that this star gives off most of its light in, they noticed there were a total of 7 transits of planets at regular intervals going around the sun. And these are planets that just cross in front of the star and the light dips. And so they watched that for a little while, and there are a couple of telescopes that can see in the infrared a little bit, but it's really hard to do that with a telescope on the Earth because the Earth is giving off all kinds of infrared, and the telescope itself is giving off all kinds of infrared, and the sky gives off all kinds of infrared. And so that interferes with our ability to look at things in the sky, in the infrared. That's why we have a couple telescopes. So they looked and looked and looked for a long time, and they confirmed that with 2 different telescopes, they confirmed that there were 7 planets going around.
So they're finding they're finding planets like all the time, right? Like how come this is news and the
Well, part of the reason it's news is that these are 7 planets going around one star, like ours.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's a big thing. Having a whole bunch of planets orbiting a single star is a big thing.
Okay.
Most of the time, we will find a star that's orbited by one planet. And when we first started finding them, they were all giant super Jupiters that were orbiting super close to their host star. And it wasn't until we started looking at these stars over years that we would notice there was a light dip or there was a wobble to it using the radial velocity, a different method. So, like Jupiter takes 11 and a half years to go around the sun. So we would have to watch a star with a planet like Jupiter in Jupiter's orbit for 30 years to be able to notice a change in its in either its light output or a wobble to it, a very slow wobble. Yeah. And that's why we have found a lot of planets that are orbiting farther and farther away from their stars because they take years and years and years and years of steady observation. And we've only been doing this, we've only been looking at these stars using the radial velocity method for about 20 years, roughly. Yeah. So if they started looking at a star 20 years ago, they would see, and there was a planet orbiting every 10 years, like Saturn or Jupiter, something like that. We would have to be watching it for another 10 years or so before we could say, aha, there's something going around that thing.
So maybe, what?
Well, isn't it also true that there's more than one planet that is in the Goldilocks zone and this 7 planet, which is kind of interesting?
Yes, it is. First of all, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, and oxygen is also very abundant.
Right.
Number 1 and 2, right?
Pardon?
1 and 2 on the periodic tables.
Oxygen is number 8. Hydrogen is number 1.
Yeah, okay.
Helium is number 2. But helium doesn't react with anything. It doesn't. You can't. Helium just doesn't react. It's a noble gas.
Okay.
And that's something else.
Yeah.
That's a different subject.
Yeah.
So, but the most abundant element on the Earth is oxygen. When stars explode, one of the primary ingredients that they give off when they blow up, suns like ours, at the end of their lives, is oxygen. It's a big one. Not to mention iron and lithium and boron and silicon and that sort of thing. All these whole bunch of elements, the first 12 or so are really abundant. But oxygen is a big one. And so hydrogen and oxygen, you put them together and you got water. And water is abundant in our solar system and it looks like it's just as abundant all over the galaxy, all over the universe. That this process that happens when stars blow up and elements that they give off is common. It's all over the place. It's been happening for billions of years.
Okay.
So it's reasonable to assume, it's a fair assumption, it's not a stretch, to assume that water is also abundant on this little this little tiny solar system.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I say tiny is because the star is so small, its radiation is limited. You have to have planets orbiting very, very close to it to get enough radiation to warm up enough to melt any water that's on any of these planets. So these planets are orbiting very, very close. If you had a picture of Jupiter and its moons, the first 4 big ones are called Galilean, and they're bigger than our Earth's moon, or at least 3 of them are. You've got Io, which is really close, and then Europa, and then Ganymede, and then Callisto. And they orbit fairly close to Jupiter. This group of 7 planets, the closest one orbits around Callisto's orbit, very similar to Callisto's orbit. So it's really, really close. And the farthest one orbits about 10 times farther away. Hey, Bert, go on in. So the ones, the 2 of them that are very, very close they would be comparable to Venus's orbit. They get a lot of this heat and light, and it may be such that
it's too much.
The water on it would become steam and boil off.
Yeah.
And then there are 3 that are in this Goldilocks zone, one on the inside, one on the outside, and one right smack dab in the middle.
They're going to have aliens on it.
Damn.
Yeah, could. Sure. It could. It's possible. And then the other
At
2
least life or
are
something.
a little bit further. They're a little bit closer to what Mars' orbit would be.
Maybe.
Mostly ice.
You think plants count as
More
aliens?
likely.
Oh. It's an alien life form.
Well,
I think so.
these little... The other interesting thing about these is that they are very, very similar in size to the Earth, both in mass and diameter.
Wow.
So, Venus and the Earth are similar in that there is enough gravity to grab an atmosphere and hold on to an atmosphere. Mars is too small to really hold on to much of any kind of atmosphere at all.
Huh.
So the important thing is that the planets are big enough to have an atmosphere, and so that's where you get your clouds and your rain and your rivers and oceans and that sort of thing. So if there's water on these planets, or an abundant amount of water, if it's not frozen, you potentially have lakes and rivers and oceans and snow and glaciers and rain and sleet and hail and
Yeah. Weather.
that sort of thing. Yep.
All right.
The other important thing to remember is that each and every one of these planets are probably tidally locked. And that means that the same side of the planet faces the star all the time.
Oh, yeah. That's hard for life.
Uh-oh.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You have one side that is constantly getting heat, and the other side that is constantly frozen.
Yeah.
And this would generate weather.
Oh,
Because
okay.
heat expands and goes up, and cold contracts, and so it's entirely possible. You have, in the middle of the planet, you have this constant wind going from, counterclockwise or clockwise or something like that. The weather itself, the atmosphere, is going to redistribute the heat. So you'd probably, the side that faces its sun all the time, where the sun would be at noon every day forever, might be a little bit too warm. Whereas on the Terminator, where the sun is constantly, say 45 degrees in the sky, 6 o'clock in the afternoon on a summer day,
Yeah.
it would always be there. It wouldn't move. Which is, just think about that. If the sun was always in the same spot all the time,
You get hot.
the stars would move around. Yeah, but there will be a point. It's called the Terminator. It's the division between night and day. The sunset part is this part where there's not too much heat and there's not too much cold. You're getting kind of an average in between. So every single one of these planets would have, assuming they're tidally locked, would have one of these kind of these areas
it's kind of like
where
it's kind of like the equator and the North Pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The other interesting thing is I've been reading articles about the size of these planets and how closely they orbit to each other, and how big, if you were standing on any one of them, how big would the others look?
Uh-huh.
And okay, so the first one takes about a day and a half to go around. It might be more than it might be closer to 2 days. Okay, so it goes around. That's the closest one.
Yeah.
So you'd be standing, let's say you're on the night side, you have 6 other planets that are swinging by. You probably wouldn't be able to see them move, just like how on a sunny day you see how a shadow is there, and you look away for a while and you look back and the shadow slightly moved, and then you look away for a while and the shadow slightly moved. It moves too slow for you to be able to see.
Yeah.
It's most likely that that's kind of how it would appear. But the planets are orbiting, they're moving very quickly, relatively speaking, and each one is moving progressively slower out. But you'd look up in the sky and you would always see 1 or 2 other planets. You'd always be able to see them. There'd always be one in the sky. One would be near the horizon, one would be right there, and one would be farther. And they would range in size from the size of the moon, or about half the size of the moon, to 3 times the size. Like if you were on the closest one, the next closest one would be 3 times bigger than the moon as it swung by. And you'd see it there, and you'd look away for a little while, and then you'd look at it again, and it will have moved. You'd look away for a while, and then you look back at it, and it will have moved again, along with the stars. So if we could go there and just land on any one of these planets, it would be absolutely amazing, because anywhere you looked, you would find one of the other planets, whether you're on the day side or the night side, except for the closest one.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to. Well, you'd look on the horizon, because one of these other planets is the sun. You'd be facing the sun, and one of these other planets is swinging around, going behind the sun. So yeah, you'd pretty much be able to see the other ones all the time. And it looks like one of them, I think the third one, appears to be slightly less massive than the Earth, slightly smaller.
Wow.
So yeah. And
all right.
Try and keep in mind too, is that there's a whole lot of speculation going on, and that's the frustrating thing. All we know for sure is their orbits, their distances, and their mass, and their size within about 10% accuracy.
Okay.
So they could be slightly bigger or slightly small.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, Jan, that's a lot of stuff. Well, we gotta do other stuff today.
Okay.
Hey, thank you though.
Yeah.
Very informative.
I'll tell you more as I learn more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
There's a few other.
Call in, Dan. You can call on your own time too. I want to hear about this stuff. You should be.
I'm going to start doing that. I think about doing that, but then when I get home, I get distracted by everything else and I forget to call.
Okay.
But I'm going to write the number down, like on the computer.
Yeah.
So it's in my base, and it'll remind me.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
I
Dan.
will call much more frequently. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good program, and it was good talking to you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Wow, Dan talked to us for like half an hour. Whoa! Oh man, hi Carl.
Hey.
We were on the phone the whole time when you walked in. This whole time.
Yeah.
We didn't get to really talk to you that much since you.
It's okay.
You got a phone.
I sent you a message through the Wi-Fi. You know, the iPad or whatever I have.
Mm-hmm. You got Google Voice?
Yeah, I have. I had this Google Voice, I guess, for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
It's on my business cards and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and on my website, and people can still call, leave message, but
You use it? You don't use that Google Voice thing though?
Oh, not hardly, but
because you can set it up so that your phone rings when you call if you're in the Wi-Fi zone.
Right,
like
I
it's a
know
phone.
that. You know, even the landline, but the landline, I just turned off the ringer.
Oh yeah, you
so-
should turn that ringer on so I can call you from the program though if you're at home.
Well, if I'm on time, or that
Yeah.
wouldn't be necessary because I would be here.
Yeah.
I mean, you could call me on my phone when I'm still here, but it would just ring until the end-stream machine.
So
I don't even know if there's a voicemail allotment. There probably is.
you cancel your phone? Your regular phone, your cell phone?
No. I called AT&T, and it's just a pay-as-you-go sort of thing. So
Oh, okay.
it's month by month.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool. Everything is going according to plan, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you see anything out there on the streets?
No, but I woke up around like 6:45 or
6:45.
yeah,
When did you go to sleep?
around 1:32. So
That's like two.
this video
That's only
that
like 4
I was,
hours of sleeping.
Yeah, I know. That's cool.
Are you feeling tired?
Well, I'm always tired.
Yeah, it's because you only sleep for 4 hours.
I'm waiting to die.
Why didn't you sleep more?
So, the video that was cutting in and out last night, I was able to go home and watch it again through the live stream, and it wasn't cutting out on live stream when it was recorded. So I had that playing on the background of one of my tabs on my browser as I was preparing stuff to do in the morning. So after it was done, I went to bed. I woke up, with my Clark radio alarm. It's always a good feeling when you wake up with your alarm. And I was just working for 4 hours, and then I was like, okay, just chilling and milling about, and then it's like, oh, gotta get on the program, so here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you sleep more? You could have slept till like 11 o'clock.
Sleeping is for people that don't. Well, sometimes well, actually, even if I'm staying at home, sometimes I would just wake up to play games all day long.
Yeah, so you think playing games and watching TV is more important than sleeping?
Yeah, I guess that's my MO, which is all right. So,
I'm saying that it's not all right that you should sleep more.
I think I've caught up with my routine though, or whatever. So I'm gonna take maybe a 1 day break and just come back at it swinging on Monday.
You're gonna take a break from computer stuff?
Oh yeah, and try to get myself over to
Church?
Yeah, and hitting up on one of the people that was like, "Hey, Carl," on Friday at lunchtime. I was like, "Come on, I'm here to listen to the curriculum." So I said I would come on to see them both actually on Sunday afternoon.
The people who are
evening,
fighting over you?
So yeah, I'll
You're
get
gonna
over there.
You're gonna go to their abodes.
Yep.
You know where they live?
After yeah.
Are they friends with each other? Maybe you should you three could be a crew instead of them fighting for you. Why don't you?
No. It's the one that was, he's like outside of the county. That was the other guy that was, kind of have a little bit of a squabble or whatever. But no. Oh yeah. And so today, it's like, okay, well,
He drives from all the way from outside the county to the group.
No, I don't usually see this other guy on the weekends quite so much, but I said that I would come on by later on today and get that battery charger thing from his place and
not from Best Buy?
salvage it or recycle it or whatever. I guess Lacey or the Hawkesbury landfill wants me to do with it. So
you're gonna take it to the dump?
Yeah.
Why don't you store it in the garbage then? If you're gonna take it to the dump, they'll take it to the garbage dump for you.
Yeah, but it would be more responsible to dispose of it correctly. So.
But you're gonna bring it to the dump.
Sometimes I'm responsible, and sometimes I'm not. But yeah.
You're gonna bring it to the dump though?
Yeah. I mean it costs $45, and I'm sure it costs around $45 to get a new battery like that. So I would need to rather get the power supply battery backup.
You're buying it
brand
from
new
them?
from the computer. So that'll go back to Best Buy to get it brand new, like I did 7 years ago. I don't know when I last had it or bought it, but it was about that time.
The guy has it, or you have it?
Oh no, he has it at his place. So I left it at his place.
Oh, it was yours, but then you left it there?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, come on, we can." I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it, and I was like, "It keeps on beeping," and so he said, "You're right. It keeps on beeping. It's probably defunct." So
batteries don't last forever.
No.
They only have so much that they can charge and discharge before they stop working.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But you lent it to him, or you gave it to him?
I said, here, this is what I have that is a problem for me. He's like.
So you gave it to him?
Well, he suggested for me to plug in the TV Roku setup into this device or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, I already got that. It's at home, but it doesn't work. So.
So he's gonna try to fix it?
Well, no. It's not fixable. It's already dwindled down so much that it's okay.
But why do you want it back? Why doesn't he just deal with it?
Well, because it's essentially my trash, so I might as well take care of my trash.
But you already gave it to him, right? Isn't it not your problem anymore? It's out of your hands.
It's still my problem.
But it's out of your hands, though, right?
No. It has my. I got my name tattooed on its forehead or my forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's out of your hands.
I have a responsibility to my planet, so.
No, you don't.
I do too.
No, you don't.
I live here, so I need to respect my.
You're gonna go save
my planet.
You're gonna go save this one thing from the dump.
Oh, well, if there's something that I can do, I probably should be doing it. So I ought to.
Well, there's a lot of things that you can be doing that you're not doing.
Exactly,
not exactly. I'm saying something that's not what you're saying.
Them all
it's not
together.
exactly what you're saying.
I'll connect them all together, and it'll be a Mobius strip and
What's that?
ever-flowing cycle.
What's Mobius strip?
So a Mobius strip is like you have a sheet of paper. Cut a sheet of paper and turn it one half of revolution and tape the ends, and then
so like a tube.
Well, you can trace your finger along this strip. It's like ribbon, basically, but the ribbon is like turned halfway, and so one trip on one side you can travel through both sides because one half is turned.
It's a tube.
It's not a tube.
Oh,
it's
I don't
a ribbon.
know.
It's a ribbon that you can you put your finger on one side of the strip and you can continue on.
This is Matrix stuff.
Lord have mercy, no.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. Well, I could be, but.
So you're gonna go buy a new battery pack thing?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Why don't you just give it to them? You should give your old battery pack back to Best Buy and be like, here, you take.
We could all learn from Native Americans. You know, they
dispose of their batteries properly.
Well, way back in the day, they were like using the blubber of whales for this, and bones for that, and blood for this or whatever. Whenever they went whaling, you know, and it's,
but they didn't have very good infrastructure, so that they didn't have any extra animals to go around. They had to do all that stuff.
Infrastructure, that's crazy.
We have infrastructure now. We don't have to deal with that kind of thing.
White people could not deal.
Who, yourself?
I couldn't deal with protesting out there without the know-how about TPs or whatever else.
Show's over.
No, it's okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel okay about it. Let's end it.
Don't you have Carl?
Who? Oh, no, I don't know where Carl is. I had it earlier. Oh, there it is. It's Carl. I have Carl. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't have named the remote Carl. But I didn't think you were going to come back at that time.
Sorry.
Are you?
So we all could learn from other cultures and other traditions and whatnot, so we could all be observant of things. So be sure to observe.
Oh yeah, roll 5 dice.
5
or 6. Roll them all. Just roll them all with your hand. Oh, with your hand. Really fast. I have a 2. Who won?
6s and 1 5 and 2 3s.
6s. 109 State Avenue, Olympia, Washington 9501. We had so much science talk, we didn't get through things. We have Mr. Instant messages to listen to too. Graham, good song. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Crew, you guys want me on the crew? Aja, Cosmo, Elaine, Icarus, Julia, Larry, Maggie, Nepeth, Riley, Summer, Tanner, Timothy, Zilger, 360-364-304, we're on TV, TCTV, La Baby, Dirty Fabulous, Graham, Subspot.com, down up to Thurston County, Washington State, USA, thank you. There's credits behind it.
4 hours of
viewers and listeners. Hell yeah, dog.
Bye.
Bye.
Woof.
Coming up on the next episode of the program.
Your daily hour with me.
Yeah, look. It's the high 2018. It's us 2017. We got a lot of calls. We got so many calls today. We had like 10 messages, and we called them all back. Everybody always decides to call all at once, and Carl leaves a message, and he says, now here, yellow fella's on the phone. He's drunk. You drunk? How, out of 1 to 10, how drunk are you, yellow fellow?
9.
Whoa, that's like almost dead. We're on every night, 11:30 and 2 a.m. on TCTV channel 22. 360-836-4384. Call and leave a message. Get on TV. Bye.